Well, good morning and welcome back to our second segment here on Cityline. With me, I have two individuals who are out there doing the work, standing in the problems and finding the solutions as gracefully as they can. I am talking about the Veterans Resource Fair that is run by NineLine Veteran Services. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Tony Dayton. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today, Amanda.
It's great to have you here. And what does your bracelet say?
It says racetosavevets.org.
You are and you are a vet, aren't you, Tony?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Oh, you bet. I come from a long line of a military family, so I can't say thank you enough. And you brought with you this incredibly beautiful, intelligent woman, Veronica Davis. You are the operations director for NineLine Veteran Services. Yes. Welcome, my dear. Welcome back, I should say.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Amanda.
Wow, NineLine. You got to say that like 10 times. Because that could just really end up just tripping over that tongue. Mm-hmm. So Tony, what impact, well first off, let's talk about this event. Historically, what kind of impact has it had?
Well, over the last 10 years, it's served over 35,000 veterans and their families. Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that, you know, from a guy, I came from homelessness, right? So in the beginning, for me, it connected me to all kinds of different service providers. And honestly, as becoming a service provider and veteran advocate, those networks grew into something that is now really working for combating homelessness today.
Oh.
So,
Tony, my heart like went when you told me that you come from an unhoused situation, and here you are on the comfy couch talking about helping others. You are what we would call a success story.
Yes, ma'am.
Big time. Wow. Veronica, what are some of your favorite successes as you have been a part of this organization? If it's not sitting right next to you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was 2019. We hired 50 veterans on the spot. T-Mobile was a vendor there. So seeing that success of filling out your resume, and then going to go get your DD-214 because we are hooked up to the DD-214 system on that day, and then going back to T-Mobile and being hired on the spot. For me, that was a success.
And here's some pictures of one of the resource fairs. And I always want to make sure that people understand what we're talking about. Veronica, can you tell them what is a
DD-214?
214. What does it give them?
It's everything. It's your military career.
Okay.
It's your whole life.
All right. Okay. So you got to have that.
Yes.
And if you don't have it, I'm sure you could help them find it. But
yes.
Look at, oh my gosh, look at this. You have an RV with your name on it. What happens inside of that RV, Tony?
Which one was that? That would have been counseling sessions for PTSD and stuff like that put on by the Vet Center.
Well, there we go. So that leads me into my next question of, can you tell us, for you, Tony, what motivates you and your team every year? And you've been coming in now on 10 years. Because as I said when we opened, this is hard work. I told you I was on social media and saw a distress call from a veteran who was having a PTSD moment and didn't want to continue on, and we had a policeman who was also a veteran talking him down. Those are the kind of situations that you run into.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, from my own experience, I know it takes a village.
Yes.
It takes all of us to be able to come together, fill in these gaps, find these veterans who are not ready to come out, let's say out of the woods, you know, or wherever they're at, you know, just kind of as an explanation. And so we have to continue to work to fill these gaps of services. And of course the wars, you know, they went on while we were doing this.
Yes.
Right. And so we're continually taking care of the effects and the everlasting effects of what's happened in the economy and stuff like that. So
it all kind of rolls forward, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of services change, wraparound services change, but they don't change unless we notice that they're not wrapping around.
Yeah.
And so by the time that shows up, you have a situation you've got to deal with to close that gap, and then to also make that program more sustainable and to get the news out for it. Veronica, what's different this year?
Well, I don't know if you remember the last time I said I wanted mobile showers.
Yes.
I have them this year.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Yes,
That's
I
great.
say if you put it out into the universe, my
will.
next dream goal is to have washer and dryers, mobile washer and dryers.
Oh, I love
Putting
that.
that out there.
So let's talk about Tony, what this event does for our unhoused veterans. And then I want you also to walk us through it, okay?
Well, yeah. So basically, when you walk into the event, right, you're walking in, the first thing you're going to see is probably about 30, 40 people in there sitting down across from other veterans doing screenings, getting very important information that we need, right, to figure out the figures and numbers of what the needs are of the community, because we want to make sure we're tackling the right objectives, right?
Right.
Then after that, they'll kind of be guided too. We'll have guides walking them to whatever that need comes up, making sure they're going to that category in the Veterans Resource Fair and getting that service right there on the spot, you know. I mean, and some of them are obvious, like the printing of the DD-214,
Yes.
like the housing, or do they need a job right into the workplace, the work area, you know. Just it categories it around. And we also do highlight if they're homeless right now, and then we actually create the gear we get. We package it all up so that way they go out there and at least leave the event with sleeping bags, extra shirts,
Yes.
shoes, you know, whatever it is that they need to take with them, you know, as they basically carry their pack out.
This is a question for both of you. Do you see every year sometimes the same people come back in, Tony?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say because there are some that they're just not ready.
Right, just not ready.
We have to meet them where they're at.
That's right. That's right.
There's some sort of there's a mental health thing there as well.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be PTSD, schizophrenia, you know, things like that, you know, where the level of care is so much higher than what we can contend with, and until they can get leveled out, you know, and they're not ready to be, they'll show up there, but then not ready to quite get leveled out, you know, for anybody that's kind of dealt with that before.
Wow, what an incredible wave you deal with, because here's the first part of the wave where they are out there unhoused in the elements, and how hard it is to be in the elements in terms of food, shelter, health, mental health, and then they come into you, and then it's to navigate this whole resource and to navigate it by having them tell you their story. And then I bet you have to fill in the holes of what they could need. But then there's no guarantee, as you said so beautifully, Tony, that they're ready, or Veronica, they're ready to come in. Sometimes they're not ready to come in. And when they come in, that's a whole different wave that you have to put them through. What would we do without you guys? I don't want to find that out. Don't answer that.
I didn't know if I was supposed to answer that.
I love that. You both kind of went, I've never thought about that. And I love that. Veronica, what makes this event stand out? And I ask this because sometimes we get hooked on a cause. Or right now we are focusing on this, whether it's PTSD, whether it is Black Lives Matter, whether it is unhoused. So is this event, is it continuing on because of a popular trend, or you have found your niche?
Oh, we have found our niche because not only do we believe in serving the veteran, but we believe in serving the family as a whole. Because how can you focus on one person because if the family isn't supported, then it's all going to break down. We are also all volunteer ran.
Wow.
And it takes a village, and our village shows up for us.
That is incredible. And what percentage of your volunteers have a military background?
Oh wow, we've never asked. Some of them do not.
Oh, interesting.
A portion do not. They want to give back to someone that has served this country.
Yes, absolutely. Tony, let's talk about how COVID increased the need for this event, and what are we doing to support that need in terms of if people come in and they haven't been boosted, haven't been vaccinated, or they actually have COVID?
So as far as how COVID's affected the event, I think, if you kind of look at like the Pierce counties, what their plan was, is what they did with a lot of the homeless was put them in like motels. They set up motel
Yes.
structures,
Yes.
right? And well, that was a 2-year plan. And so that ended last month, March 2023.
Yeah.
So those dollars have all been allocated for what they're going to be. And now we've got to kind of look to see what's going to be coming next. And we know inflation's been quite the hot topic across
Yes.
the nation, if not the world, and so we're just kind of looking to see what is the backlash for this going to be,
Lack of housing.
what
Yep.
what we know that house price, everybody's watched the housing market.
Yes.
It's gone up exponentially. So as these emergency fund dollars run out, what new items do we need to look at? What are we going to see? I think that's what our screening is going to tell us a lot.
Absolutely. And will that determine new programs?
Absolutely. Yeah, it would definitely, because and as soon as it comes out, they'll start having committees and we'll
Right.
start meeting, I also serve on the Pierce County Veterans Advisory Council, so I'll be talking with the city.
Excellent.
And making sure that we are, looking at what
You got us covered. Veronica, in these last 40 seconds, who do you need to thank?
Oh gosh, I made a list.
Okay, hit it.
City of Tacoma and Mayor Victoria Woodard, Heritage Home Partners, WDVA, U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, Task Force 12, Seattle Seahawks, Humana, United Healthcare, CMAR, American Red Cross, Boeing, Tacoma Public Utilities, the board and employees of NineLine, and of course, the volunteers and supporters.
You too. I mean, I wish that we could get all those volunteers on this couch. This room would be standing room only if
more
we got
couches.
everybody more couches. So a huge thank you to them and to you for all that you do for living your truth and being available 24/7 to make our world a better place. You two are fantastic.
Well, thank you for your
so
support.
much.
Yeah,
My
thank you
pleasure.
so much.
When we come back, we are going to be on the Titanic. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back after this quick break.